Many people have used your songs as their first dance at weddings, but you don't get royalties on those.
No,
No.
but it's nice that they use it.
What are some of your songs that people could have used or might have used for their first dances at weddings?
What are you doing the rest of your life would be one.
Yes.
Oddly enough, a lot of people use It Might Be You. I don't know why.
Theme from Tootsie.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because it might be you. I mean, it kind of doesn't speak well for the relationship.
How about how do you keep the music playing?
Yeah, they keep absolutely. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. And do you write the songs or the full scoring of the picture as well?
No, just the songs.
Which other songs, aside from first dances from weddings, what other songs, just so your audience, we can perk their memory from the past 40, 50 years?
Well, the Windmills of Your Mind, which was from Thomas Crown Affair, yeah. A lot of people know You Don't Bring Me Flowers. That's, they know that. And then, there's all the songs from Yentl that we wrote.
Papa, Can You Hear Me?
Yes, Papa, Can You Hear Me?
But what's the more famous one?
Well, that's pretty famous. Piece of Sky is also famous, and that was a wonderful experience. We had a lot of fun. We went to Israel. We opened Yentl in Israel. Oh God, in the early '80s, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't remember the year exactly.
Yeah. How old are you today?
I'm 92.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Born in 1927? Five.
1925.
Where did you grow up?
Brooklyn.
Which neighborhood?
Well, Park, a little bit in Flatbush, and then around Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah.
Botanic Gardens?
Yeah.
Did you grow up through the Depression years?
Yeah. Well, that was born in 25. Yeah, absolutely through the Depression.
How do you suppose that experience shaped Jews in the arts, music?
Well, Brooklyn had a very, you can't imagine how many people in the arts grew up in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Because the immigrants that came over, they knew that they were never going to go back because of the persecution.
Yes.
And what they wanted for their children was an education, and especially in the arts. And so many wonderful people came from in the arts from Brooklyn in that period, in the 30s and 40s.
Yes.
Incredible.
Why was there so much creativity from Brooklyn Jews in that era?
Well, as I said, that's what they concentrated on for their children, was education, and they took advantage of all the art that you could imagine. There was the Broadway theater, and which in those days was really the golden era of Broadway, 40s and 50s. That's what they concentrated on, really, education. They wanted their kids to go to school and learn. And
Play the piano?
oh, yeah. When you were 6 years old in Brooklyn, you took piano lessons, and you were Jewish. You took piano lessons. No, it's true.
How about in the school? Did the schools have bands?
Oh, yeah. Schools had bands, great music education in schools. It was just a wonderful creative time, There was no telephones that people were concentrating on, which is too bad because they don't look at each other, they don't connect at all.
Yeah. What about having Jews in the entertainment field, Hollywood, for instance, would they hire? Were they partial to other? Was there a Jewish cultural affinity that came into American mainstream?
Well, a lot of them were directors and producers. Not too many actors. Well, there was John Garfield and
Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas. Quite a few, but not as many as you'd think. They were more seemed to be leaning back to the writing. A lot of writers. Doc Simon, for instance.
Neil Simon.
Neil, yeah, and the composers were mostly Irving Berlin, Jerome Kern, mostly Jewish. Tin Pan Alley, in those days where people wrote popular songs in those days, were a lot of Jewish composers. A wonderful lyricist by the name of Leo Robin, Sammy Fain, a composer. Julie Stein, mostly Sammy Kahn.
Yes. Were these influences on you?
Well, the most influence, I was very lucky. When I went to graduate school, I met Johnny Mercer, who, you know who he is, and he took me under his wing. He was my mentor, and I was very lucky.
What were you studying in graduate school?
Music.
Was it Juilliard or?
No,
City College?
No, I went to graduate school here at UCLA.
Okay.
And I did my undergraduate work at University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is a wonderful liberal arts school.
Yes. Did they have a synagogue nearby?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Quietly?
No, there was quite a nice synagogue, as I remember. And there were fraternity houses that were Jewish and non-Jewish fraternities and so forth. But that was wonderful. Being brought up by people who my mother and father believed in education. Primarily, that's what they wanted. My brother and I to go to college, and it was interrupted by the Second World War, but we got through that. And luckily, the GI Bill, which is one of the great things that this country afforded, I went back to college and graduate school on the GI Bill, which is great. Your influences in modern film, composers or songwriters? Oh, well, the most influential songwriter today is Stephen Sondheim. There's nobody like Stephen. He's raised the bar way up there. He's terrific, just terrific.
But he's not a pop songwriter, would you say?
What he is he's a genius at what he does, and he's changed the American theater, the musical theater, and he's a great teacher. He wrote 2 wonderful books that I suggest every young songwriter should read. No, Steve is just wonderful.
Do you teach, or have you taught?
Well, my wife and I, write together, and we've done a semester. We talked about the Great American Songbook and why it is the Great American Songbook at UCLA, and unfortunately, young songwriters today don't have a sense of history. They don't. How you can do what you do and not know what happened before, I don't know, but they don't seem to care. That's too bad, But Mal and I were lucky. We grew up in the golden era of with Cole Porter and Jerome Kern, Johnny Mercer, Roger Hammerstein, Cole Porter, Lerner and Lowe. I mean, the great writers. So, and all of those are Jewish, by the way.
But was it like there was a Jewish cabal that Gentile songwriters weren't welcome?
No, there were a few. Johnny Mercer for one. And Cole Porter. There were a few. But for the most part, they were. Starting with Irving Berlin, in 1910, he wrote a song that changed the history of popular music in this country. People in this country were listening to Middle European waltzes and things like that, and then Irving Berlin wrote Alexander's Ragtime Band, and that changed a lot. And then Jerome Kern wrote a song called "They Didn't Believe Me," which was a love song that really changed that.
Well, the movie's over, and they're asking you to come and speak about the movie on the stage. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.